Elon Musk just handed an absolute wackadoodle reporter her ass on a platter. We got the story. Anti woke company, an actual anti woke company that advertises that fact, and we love it. And an amazing upcoming film trailer. I cannot wait because I'm such a fan. Might not be what you think. It's coming up. Welcome to the Jay Sheldon Show. It's Friday. Yay! I could not be happier. Friday is here. We are live on Rumble and on YouTube and wherever you may be across the planet or across the US. We appreciate you being here. Please give us a like and a follow, subscribe. It all helps. It's free for you and helps the algorithm find us, which is great. Thank you, folks, for popping by. We appreciate you being here. All right, let's get on with it, shall we? Elon Musk just absolutely handed this moron reporter her butt on a platter. Hang on, my click isn't working. Here we go. He delivered a mic drop moment against the media during a rather fiery interview. Elon has shown many times in the past that he is not afraid to call out the left on some of their wackadoodle policies. And one of the things he's been most concerned about is standing against radical ideologies and preserving the constitutional principles, the kind of ones we have here in the West. He was doing an interview with the Economist editor in chief, Zanny Minton Bedos. Bedos tried to plant him as far right because of his criticisms of how the government has approached things like immigration in the UK. Musk shot down that characterization damn quick. He said it was normal to want secure borders, safe cities, sensible spending. Here's a quote. If people are coming to a country with antithetical views, I'm against that, he said. I'm against rape and murder. I'm against the imposition of rules and laws that are contrary to what we've come to accept in the West. He continued on cursing the media for not understanding and, more importantly, not reflecting this feeling, which a majority of Americans have. And then Betos tries to attack Elon Musk over that, saying, "You don't even live here." She asked if he understood how some people loathe you. What an absolute crock. Listen to Musk's reply. Hold on a quick second. I got to get there. We go. Listen.
You don't even live there.
I think of it as the sort of the West collectively.
But do you see why this makes people think that this man who has all this power, he's the world's richest man, he thinks he has a right to influence our politics? It makes people, it's why, we started this conversation saying superlatives. It's why people loathe you. I mean, some people do loathe you.
Yes, some people do.
But do you understand why? Do you think what you're doing is helpful for Western democracy?
Maybe some people do loathe me. And that's probably true. I don't care. But the fact that, as you pointed out, 250 million people follow me is that I think a lot more people actually like me than don't. And I think a lot more people hate you and the media more than you realize.
Ow! Ow! Oh! Get some Vaseline for that burn. He acknowledges it must be true that some people loathe him. And he says, the best line of all, I don't care. Oh, man. Elon didn't let it go. He went even further, dropped her in the media in response. The fact that you pointed, this is great. I know you just heard it, but I want to hear it again. You pointed out 250 million people follow me. Is that, I think, a lot more people that actually like me than don't? And I think a lot more people hate you and the media more than you realize. Boom. Mic drop. I am willing to bet that this Bedos has not faced this kind of a blunt but true assessment of the media right in her face like that. I'll bet she's never had to deal with that before. I didn't, no doubt she was not expecting that. She ought to reflect, though, on why it's true and why so many people hate the media. I don't bet that she will. A lot of the alleged news media has long since given up on what was supposed to be their job of reporting the facts to the people in favor of pushing agenda journalism, which it ain't journalism. The media has earned all the loathing they get. And far as I'm concerned, I'm all in. I think you are too, with Elon despising the liberal media. Meanwhile, Musk, probably, in addition to being the richest man on the planet, he is probably also one of the most accomplished men in the world. Brought so much to it. His work with SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink, Department of Energy Efficiency, Doge. He put everything on the line for freer speech by buying X, then getting targeted by the left for doing it. Apparently, they don't want free speech. I mean, we already know that. Come on. That is one of the main reasons that a lot of people have a lot of admiration for this man. Elon Musk has brought incredible things to the world. The liberal media? Not so much. Not so much. While we're, I had this later in the show, but I want to do it now because it's absolutely pertinent to what we're talking about. This is crazy. There is, hold on. We got to go back. Hang on. There is a company called redballoon.work. And this company is priding themselves in being 100% woke free. And they advertise it freely. This is a company I want to work for. Now, they created this tongue-in-cheek woke free job board ad, which is available running on YouTube and a few other places. But it is truly amazing. And frankly, it gets right down to the heart of the matter when you're talking about woke free workplaces. Listen to this.
When I grow up, I want to work for a woke company, like super woke.
When I grow up,
I want to be hired based on what I look like,
rather than my skills.
I want to be judged
By my political beliefs.
I want to get promoted
based on my chromosomes. When I grow up,
I want to be offended
By my coworkers.
and walk around the office
On eggshells.
and have my words policed.
By HR. Words like
Grandfather.
peanut gallery.
Long time no see.
no can do.
When I grow up,
I want to be obsessed with emotional safety
and do workplace sensitivity training.
all day long. When I grow up, I want to climb the corporate ladder.
just by following the crowd.
I want to be a conformist.
I want to weaponize my pronouns. What are pronouns?
It's time to grow up and get back to work. Introducing the #1 woke-free job board in America, redballoon.work.
There you go, redballoon.work. And an absolute woke free environment. This is fantastic. We need more of these. We need like 1,000 times more of this. This company, hats off. You get the win this month, this year. Woke free workplace. Unbelievable. That is fantastic. And I love the ad too. Really in your face with all this DEI crap. Congratulations to Red Balloon. Nice job. Nice job indeed. All right, our president welcomed the World Series champion LA Dodgers to the White House, and he was not shy with his typical humor. He invited the Dodgers to the White House yesterday to honor the winning of the World Series in 2025. There was a ceremony in the new and improved Rose Garden. Uh, Trump emerges from the Oval Office, hosting back-to-back MLB World Series champions, the Dodgers at the White House Rose Garden Club. They clapped as President Trump made his way to the lectern and said, "Congratulations, it was a hell of a series."
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, accompanied by the Los Angeles Dodgers owner and chairman, Mark Walter, and manager Dave Roberts.
Do you think they couldn't have got maybe a little bit of a better band? Anyway, Trump got gifted an honorary World Series championship ring and a jersey from the LA Dodgers when they visited the White House. And this is where the real Donald Trump humor comes through.
We'd like to present this to you as a
Oh, wow.
honorary.
Oh, you have to be kidding, huh? Wow. Do I have to report this? I don't want to report this. That's beautiful. Thank you very much.
It's got your name on it, so
That's
it's
so
only
good.
worth it to
That's
you.
right. That's really beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you, fellas. You know what that looks like. Thank you very much.
And?
You know what? I'll put it right
Yeah,
here.
right. All right. And a World Series jersey.
Thank you very much.
47.
Wow, thank you.
Sweet. Very nice. Sorry about the audio. It was only one track. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, he praised all the players, including the star, Shohei Ohtani. He said he's amazing. He's amazing. Everybody loves him. Last year, Shohei did what the previously was unthinkable. Nobody thought it was possible, collecting his third straight unanimous league MVP with a franchise record 55 home runs. Dang. He teased Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who is the better pitcher. I love this guy's sense of humor.
World Series MVP Yoshi Yamamoto, oh boy, did he pitch well. Pitched an incredible Game 6, sending the Dodgers to an unforgettable Game 7. Where's Yoshi? Very smart. You are something. That's great.
I love this guy. He talks off the cuff with such ease. It's a talent. It really is. He had a little more fun with Ohtani, took a picture of him, and then gave him one more challenge coin. Do we have that? We do have that video. Here you go.
And the last one. Great. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Have a good year. I'll see you soon. Ha! Wow. Sweet. Very, very nice. Congratulations to the Dodgers, all the winners. Although it's kind of odd, here we are in July and he's doing last year's World Series stuff. I'm not quite sure why that is, but it is. So we'll just go with it. All right. As you know, we have a new segment on this show. It runs once or twice or three times a week. And we got another one for you. Oh, yeah, this segment is called Please Reopen the Asylums. This is an influencer who calls her whatever it is, Rain the Planet, RAINE, who has they, them, their pronouns in its bio. She has a child, I know, who's in a play of 1776, and she's showing off her outfit before she goes in to watch the play. She finishes the post with a song about fighting for independence, and her kid doesn't stand a chance. She has anti-ICE and anti-Trump posts all over her timeline. I'm very sure there is definitely indoctrination taking place with her kid. This is another great example of why we should, as we call this segment, please reopen the asylums.
Howdy, y'all. It's Rain, and I am here at Ritchie Suncoast Theater ready to see my son's newest play. He's in 1776, and this is his 22nd play, which is pretty impressive. So congrats, Tyler, on your 22nd play. I wanted to give y'all a quick fit check. So I have accessories from all over the place, but the outfit is from Torrid, and the bag is from Dolls
Bobby
Hill,
the Tent Maker.
and this is the whole fit. So let me do a little spin here. Whee!
Lovely.
And my friend Monica got these cool flowers for Tyler for us to give him after the show. So, bye, y'all.
I say vote yes. Down, John. Vote for independence. Say, someone alone, Panama window. No, too many flies.
So this is the same woman from the video that you just watched, and as you heard, she's there going into a play that her kid is in called 1776. I think it's very obvious that this woman is pushing some kind of indoctrination likely onto her child, because her page is full of political indoctrination, so I would be very concerned for this child. Just take a look at another post that she made here called The Top 5 Horror Movies According to Her, and they are another visa rejection, Trump administration, incorrect pronouns, General Hospital ending, and melting ice cream. So again, it seems like she's pretty political. It seems like she's a typical liberal who hates the Trump administration, and she hates ICE. If we look at her page a little bit further, we see there's a lot of LGBTQ stuff on it, and there's another theme, which is gluttony, where she's just eating a ton of unhealthy food, so she's going to continue getting larger and larger and larger. And here she—
Oh my God. Which is why we say, please reopen the asylums. Because I got a big fat cow waiting at the front door who'll probably be pretty close to first in line. Unbelievable. Oh, is it Friday? Yes, it is. Good. Hello, Marilyn. Oh, man. Just unbelievable. All right. Let us tell you about one of our great sponsors, and it is right inside of this cup. Blackout coffee. Oh, man, I'm telling you. This is a coffee made here in America. They work with American farmers and local co-ops. They grow the absolute best beans on the planet. They harvest them at exactly the right moment, and they only roast your beans in what's called a small batch roasting process. That makes all the difference. They only roast your beans after you order. And that means you've got fresh roasted beans right at your doorstep. If you can't grind your own beans, that's okay. You order it ground, pre-ground. They can do that for you on most of their most popular roasts. They've got flavored coffees, which are incredible. Instant, cold brewed, it's all there. There's a link down in our description. Check it out. And if you're a first-time customer, you use the code J20, JAY20, and that will get you 20% off your first order at Blackout Coffee. Folks, I've said it from the beginning. These folks are amazing. Their coffee's incredible. John Santos and his team over there, fantastic people to work with. And if you just want, head over there, use our link, try a single bag of coffee, pick your favorite roast, give it a shot. You'll be back for more. I know you will. And don't forget to use that code J20 at checkout for 20% off your first order. They are always doing specials over there, all kinds of deals, so check them out. Blackout Coffee, use the link in our description. And thanks to John Santos and the gang for helping to support the show. We appreciate that a lot. All right, where are we? Oh, here we go again. Start spreading the news. Allah Akbar. 2 men stabbed in broad daylight on Manhattan's Upper West Side. Yep, here we go again. A rather disturbing scene played out on Manhattan's Upper West Side yesterday. An assailant stabbed 2 men in separate attacks. The victims both said he yelled the Islamic battle cry, Allah Akbar, before he assaulted and stabbed them. Both went to the hospital following the stabbings, expected to recover from their injuries. Oh, man, the suspect's in custody. The motive has not been officially established. Officials are calling it a pair of apparently anti-Semitic attacks. New York City Police Department said one of the victims is Jewish and that witnesses reported hearing the suspect yell Allah Akbar during the assaults. Investigators evaluating whether the reported attacks should be classified as a hate crime and identified the suspect as Raul Morales, 51, in connection with both assaults. Very nice. The incident occurred as the city remains on edge over a lot of anti-Semitism going on. Democratic Socialist Mayor Mandani threatening, of course, the insane claim to want to arrest Netanyahu. Tuesday, he sheepishly admitted that, of course, he has no authority to do that. But Mandani actually issued a statement on this stabbing roughly 2 hours after the city council speaker, Julie Menon, about 45 minutes after Governor Idiot Kathy Hochul came out. Mandani said, I've been briefed on today's horrifying stabbings on the Upper West Side where an Asian man and a Jewish man were attacked. According to witnesses and victim statements, the perpetrator yelled Allah Akbar during both attacks. I'm relieved that both victims are in stable condition. Well, isn't that nice of you? Morales has been immediately arrested in connection with both assaults. Although the motive, they don't know yet. Not clear if the assailant was aware of Mandani's recent proclamations. Minister of Foreign Affairs of the State of Israel, Gideon Sa'ar, noted the words have consequences. He posted, I'm appalled by the horrific anti-Semitic stabbing attacks in New York. Appalled, but sadly, not surprised. That violence did not happen in a vacuum. Man, is that the truth. Months of incitement against the Jewish state from Mamdani have helped create a climate in which Jews are targeted. So, one person arrested, somebody else has they're in stable condition and recovering in a hospital. We'll keep an eye on it, let you know. Marilyn says, please tell me it's the lighting and your neck and the side of your face don't look all black and blue. Not in my monitor. No. Nope. Looks fine on YouTube and Rumble. And I don't see any black and blue. I've got a main key light here. I've got a face light over here and a hair light behind me way up there. Normal lighting, it's what I've always got, and I don't see that in any of my monitors. But thank you for asking. I would hate to have been actually black and blue. Hey, Brandon Gill has got a good idea. In fact, he's got a genius plan to end the foreign invasion of birth tourism, which we have been talking about a lot this week. Brandon Gill is a Texas congressman, rising superstar, by the way, in the Republican Party. Take a note of this guy's name. He is going to get very well known, Brandon Gill. You might have caught him dressing down the Smithsonian director. Remember that idiot woman who couldn't answer a question? Instant classics like asking if politeness was a form of white supremacy. Oh, man. Being polite, being on time, being objective, those are white supremacy. Yeah, I don't think so. Now, unlike a lot of other GOP politicians, however, Gill is not just going to toss a few scraps to red meat our way and ignore actually his job is trying to solve problems. That's what he does. Congress is not political theater, and you guys are not theater kids, although you'd never know that watching some of you. He says we're all a bit fed up with these swamp creatures acting like it's Hollywood for the ugly. Anyway, this is why Gill has unveiled a genius plan to put an end to this birth tourism crap. Part of the genius of this plan lies in exactly how simple it is. Label birth tourists foreign invaders. How is that, you say? A new bill called the Citizenship Act. Gill is unveiling legislation which would limit birthright citizenship to children of illegal aliens during a declared invasion. According to documents obtained by the Daily Caller, Gill's bill, titled the Citizenship Act, would clarify that the children of illegal aliens who entered our country as part of an invasion are not entitled to birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment. This is Gill. He said the Constitution never intended to reward unlawful entry by automatically granting citizenship to the children of those who invaded our country. Now, if we're serious about recognizing that our nation's been invaded, then our laws ought to reflect that reality. He said we should not extend one of the greatest privileges our nation can bestow, American citizenship, to the children of those who entered this country unlawfully as part of an invasion. And I'm proud to introduce the Citizenship Act in the House to remedy our code of law. Wow. Jim Banks, Republican from Indiana, also co-sponsoring the act. Brilliant. Do we have a cut? We do. Let's take a look.
You have released the text of your birthright citizenship bill, and that's a very important aspect of this. It seeks to, quote, declare that any person who enters the United States without authorization or for the purpose of engaging in birth tourism is considered an invader, and to amend Section 301 of the Immigration and Nationality Act to exclude the children of invaders from birthright citizenship. Senator, tell us more about this bill.
Well, this Supreme Court decision a few weeks ago will go down as one of the worst decisions, certainly of my lifetime, if not the worst of all. That's a direct attack on American sovereignty I think most Democrats in America, I know all Republicans in America, anyone with common sense understands that the babies of illegals in our country should not be granted birthright citizenship. That was never the intent of the 14th Amendment. So my bill is simple. It just makes this point that the tens of millions of illegals who have flooded into our country because of Joe Biden and the Democrats are invaders into our country. We've declared Nazi spies, terrorists, pirates as invaders into our country before, but all of that pales in comparison to what the Democrats have allowed to happen to this country with tens of millions of illegals, and 250,000 babies are born every year to these invaders, to these illegals that are immediately given birthright citizenship. It's wrong. It shouldn't happen. The Supreme Court, it was a bad ruling, but Justice Kavanaugh, in his opinion, even though he was on the wrong side of the ruling, he said that Congress can act here and do what I'm proposing, declare an invasion, and then make it clear in the law as an act of Congress that babies of invaders are not eligible for birthright citizenship.
And there you go. Thanks to Newsmax for that report. All this brought about because of that idiot Supreme Court ruling on birthright citizenship, by the way. Fun fact, or not so fun fact, America is the minority of countries worldwide that act like an invader touching dirt automatically makes you entitled to baby citizenship. Hardly any other countries on the planet do that. And yet, we do. Okay, I'm going to get off my high horse for another minute. Ay, ay, ay. You know, I said before that one of the reasons I loved Malaysia when I moved here about, well, now almost 25 years ago, is that we have monkeys. I've talked about it before. We have macaques. We, of course, in parts of Borneo, Malaysia, which is on the other side over on the island of Borneo, the states of Sabah and Sarawak are part of Malaysia, the country. And over there, they've got orangutans. I've been over there to see the habitats and watch them in the wild. It was amazing to see those orangutans out there in the wild. And by the way, it is orangutan, not orangutan. Orang means person, and utan means jungle. So orangutan is basically jungle person. Just so you know, orangutan, not orangutan. And anyway, beyond that, we have monkeys. We've even got them in my neighborhood occasionally because we have some forested areas just outside of our little garden area here. We will get monkeys coming in. They're horrible. If you leave your windows open, they will come right in your house, rifle through your things, mess up everything. They're really kind of annoying, but they're adorable because I love monkeys. Well, as you know, I moved here from Florida. I was in Monroe County in the Florida Keys. Apparently, I shouldn't have left so soon because there's a lot of monkey business going on in Florida these days, and it's not all in Tallahassee, the state capital. It is in the town of Silver Springs, Florida, where they have had a resident population of small monkeys, simians, also known as rhesus macaques, to be precise. They've been there for quite some time, apparently. These critters are native to Eastern and Central Asia, which is where I am, including China and India, and they are very, very quick. They are incredibly adaptable. They're fast breeding. They're amazingly smart. These rhesus monkeys are insanely smart. And now it seems they've spread to the neighboring town of Mount Dora in Florida, where they've been having several sightings of these monkeys. Let's get this report from one of the news channels out there about these rhesus monkeys in Florida.
The city actually taking some steps to try and warn people. West 2's Haley Crummelholm explains why.
So some of these most recent monkey sightings have happened here in these woods behind the Mount Dora Library. And an animal control officer I spoke to said the city felt the need to put out an advisory after seeing some posts that concern them on social media.
Looking at a monkey in a tree in Mount Dora.
In Central Florida, we're used to seeing geckos and gators, but right now Mount Dora's got monkeys.
Hi, little monkey friend. You gonna try to eat my dog?
A woman shared this video she said she took back on July 15th at the Forest Preserve, the wooded area behind the Mount Dora Public Library. Animal Control said that seems to have become the monkeys' new hangout, with other recent sightings there.
We had 2 on Sunday.
There he goes right there. Look, look, look.
We told you about other monkey sightings last month, this one in Gilbert Park. And West 2 spoke with a woman Tuesday who said she saw a monkey just last week.
Like, you don't think you're going to see a monkey driving down the road, you know?
She said she spotted one driving by a shopping plaza in Mount Dora. She said she couldn't stop to take a photo, but she was shocked.
And I was like, who would have their dog, like, out on, like, a busy road? And as I got closer, I was like, oh my gosh, that's a monkey.
The recent sightings have turned official city business into monkey business, with the city of Mount Dora putting out a monkey sighting advisory this week, reminding people these are feral animals that should be admired from a distance.
There was a couple posts on Facebook about how to feed the monkeys and stuff like that, and that what they need to do if they're confronted with one, they need to just back away, let the monkey go on about its way. They don't need to try and feed, touch, or pet it or anything like that.
Actually, that is a very good piece of advice. Again, because I live in a country where these are native, they're all over the place, monkeys, especially these macaques. They're the most populated monkey here in Malaysia. But once around the tourist traps, where of course the tourists, being idiots, will feed them, they're very, very aggressive. And if you feed them once, they're going to expect it again, and they can get a bit violent. They will bite you, no doubt about it. They will scratch and bite. So you see these monkeys, the best, I know they're cute, admire them from a distance, but don't engage with them. If you're in Florida, anywhere around where these monkeys are hanging out, do not engage. It can be very dangerous and it can get you hurt. So please be careful about that. Karen says, I was today years old when I learned the origin meaning of orangutan. I'm glad I could bring that to you. Again, orangutan, not orangutan. It's a Bahasa Melayu word, which means jungle person, orang utan. There you go. I live within an hour of Mount Dora, lived there as a small child briefly. Wow, no kidding. That is so cool, Karen. Well, if you go back to Mount Dora, just please be careful of the monkeys, okay? Look out for the macaques. All right. For the love of God and everything holy, can we please focus on the bottom 1%? Those lousy 1%ers. And no, by the way, I'm not talking about the bike gangs, okay? Got enough problems already. I don't need to get involved with the bike gangs. You know exactly what I mean. The rich, greedy, insatiable billionaires who are constantly ruining and running all of our lives. We are the 99%. That was the slogan popularized by the Occupy movement back in 2011. And over the last 15 years or so, the term 1% has grown ubiquitous. It's everywhere. Political discourse. You can't turn a page or turn on anything on the internet. You don't hear something about the 1%. It's the go-to boogeyman for the radical left. Well, that and Jews, but since all Jews are billionaires anyway, tomatoes, you know. Did I say that? Anyway, 1% has become this political shorthand for corporate greed, economic oppression, the Epstein class. Plus, according to some cherub-faced Senate candidate, Representative James Tallarico from Texas, a Democrat. Texas, why you elected Democrats? What the hell's the matter with you? Anyway, this idiot says the evil, terrible, no good 1% is the only minority group that's going to destroy America. Ooh, how I hate them, those rich billionaires destroying America by, whatever. Stumble, mumble, bumble. Serious question, though. Can you name a single way in which a billionaire has ruined your life? Yeah, I didn't think so. Elon Musk, the world's richest man, worth close to or just over $1 trillion. About 99.9% of his wealth is tied to the valuation of his companies. In other words, he didn't get rich by stealing your rent money, hoarding cash, plundering your 401ks. He built companies that revolutionized digital payments like PayPal, electric cars, AI, space travel. And in this process, 4,400 of his current and former employees actually became millionaires themselves. I got nothing to bitch about. Musk has not made my life worse. The opposite. If you own say a Model S, 0 to 60 in about 3.2 seconds, it's weird. Left-wingers are selling the Occupy Wall Street Revolution handbook on Amazon and airing the 99% Occupy Wall Street film on Prime. Democrat Socialists of America have an official account on X. Oh, yeah, you'll find them there. Of course, so does the Communist Party. And for all the evils that billionaires have unleashed on the wholesome, pure 99%, they're surprisingly generous in letting their critics use their platforms to make a buck or promote a cause. They got no problem with that. Their critics, surprisingly eager to exploit the fruits of billionaire ingenuity. You wouldn't have this platform if it weren't for Elon Musk, morons. And yet you do, and you use it daily. I don't recall Representative Tallarico condemning the influence. In fact, he's actively courting Silicon Valley billionaires. A pro-Tallarico PAC just got a $10 million donation from billionaire Reid Hoffman. A little weird, Now think about it. Billionaires aren't indoctrinating your kids at school. Billionaires are not defecating in the streets. They're not leaving drug needles in public parks or competing for your jobs. They aren't trying to access the girls' bathroom, spreading diseases, mugging you at night. They're not breaking into your car, building tent camps in homeless cities. Billionaires are not why there are long lines in most emergency rooms. They aren't shoplifting so many flippin' razor beauty products and allergy medications that CVS, Walgreens, and Rite Aid are now locking them up. But you know who is? The other 1%. The other 1%, I hear you ask? Let's try a thought experiment, shall we? Imagine the top 1%, those rich, powerful billionaires like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Ellison, Warren Buffett, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Imagine they suddenly vanish from society, and with them, all their creations. Has your life improved? Everything all better? Are you bummed there's no electric cars, no SpaceX, no digital payments, no Starlink, no Amazon deliveries, no Uber, Netflix and chill, no Google, no AI, no iPhones, no chatbot, no Microsoft Office, no personal computers, no social media? Okay, I could handle that one. But I bet you'd miss the 2.3 million jobs that just the top 12 billionaire job creators are responsible for. And how badly would we miss the 40.4% of U.S. federal income tax revenue that comes directly from the top 1%? 40.4%. Without billionaires, do you know how much more you'd be paying in taxes? The 1%ers are shouldering a hugely different, huge burden. The warmth of collectivism would get a hell of a lot more expensive. You better get ready for some major tax hikes if they suddenly disappear. Okay, let's tweak our thought experiment just a little bit. Imagine if the bottom 1% suddenly vanished from society. Poof, they're gone. How has your life improved? Well, we know that poor households have more than doubled the rate of violence as high-income households. We know the bottom 1% pays 0% of the federal income taxes. Fun fact, by the way, the bottom 50% of earners pay just 3.3% of all federal income tax. That's it. Instead of contributing, they are far more likely to receive federal money, social services, government assistance. And finally, they're a net negative. About 25% of the bottom 1% are homeless. So if the bottom 1% suddenly vanished, so do all the homeless camps, along with the crime, the drug abuse, sexual exploitation, disease, public urination, public defecation, gone. The biggest change would likely be the violent crime rate. You look at the studies, 1% of the population is responsible for 63% of all violent crime convictions. That is nearly 2/3 of all murders, rapes, assaults, muggings, and kidnappings. Nearly 2/3. So, in a roundabout way, Representative Tallarico was exactly right. The 1%ers really are destroying America. It's just not the top 1%. It's the bottom. Think about it. An interesting take, huh? All right. I cannot wait. I will tell you that ever since I was a young boy, which was a very, very long time ago, I have loved the story of A Christmas Carol. I used to read that on my old YouTube channel every year at Christmas time, in addition to another great Christmas story by Truman Capote. And so I've loved the Christmas Carol story forever and ever. Ebenezer Scrooge. Well, there is a new trailer out, and if you haven't seen it, I'm going to play it for you. because I just want to. It's absolutely just an advertisement. I'm not being paid to run this, but I love this. And guess who stars as Ebenezer Scrooge? Johnny Depp. Yes. It premieres in theaters this coming November 13th, and I cannot wait.
It's good to be back. To Uncle Scrooge.
To Uncle Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge.
Let go of me, man!
I say to you, sir, Merry
Humbug!
Merry Christmas
Humbug!
and a Happy New Year.
Humbug!
Merry Christmas.
I cannot wait. Ebenezer, starring Johnny Depp, coming up, opens November 13th, just in time for the holidays. Wow. Love it. Love it. By the way, I found another one, and we'll show you that on Monday, because it's really cool. All right, we're done. It's the end of the week. Thank you, everybody, for popping by all this week. I really appreciate it. Whether you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe. If you're on Rumble, hit follow. A like, a share, all helps the show. We don't have a marketing budget around here, so anything you can do is a million times more than what we can get accomplished ourselves. So if you appreciate what we do here, give us a like, a follow, and a share. And we thank you very much. Of course, hit up our sponsors. If you'd like to help donate directly to the show, you can do that at our PayPal link, which is down in our description. Enjoy your weekend. Spend it with someone you love. And we'll see you right back here on Monday.